Coming up on the 1-0 Sports Show, we recap the Red River beatdown, we talk NFL Week 6, and we also preview the Big 12 game versus Iowa State and Texas. All of this and more coming up on the 1-0 Sports Show.
Texas finally 1-0, finally riding for the brand.
I was watching the A&M LSU game with my father. He's an Aggie. And nothing brought me more joy. To throw the touchdown, he was like, oh no!
You heard it here first from Hunter. Book your plane tickets to Omaha today.
It's on a Saturday night. What y'all doing on Saturday night? Just come to the game.
Athletes come out and support the Longhorns. TCU doesn't have a shot against Texas in this game.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday. And we welcome you to the 1-0 Sports Show. I'm your host, TJ Krilowicz, and I'm here joined by Kylie Rodriguez. Let's get right into the show here. We have a really exciting weekend coming up for us. And so let's go ahead and start with who's hot, who's not on the sports world here. Kylie, who do you have with who's hot?
I'm saying who's hot is comebacks in the NFL. Just there's been last weekend there was a lot of maybe they came back but they didn't win, but there was still a lot they were down 21 in Tampa Bay or in the Raiders. They were down and they came back. And this one actually, the Raiders versus the Chiefs, they won this game. And but they were down 17-0 at one point. And they came back and they won the game, which I think that's kind of crazy to have at least one of them. But even in the Eagles versus Cardinals one, the Cardinals were down 17-0 there too, and they came back, but the Eagles won by a field goal. So it's still crazy just to think at least three teams were down by a significant deficit, and they came back, which I think that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and shout out Cameron Dicker from the Philadelphia Eagles, former Longhorn kicker. Almost the Cowboy. Former Longhorn kicker, and he had a great NFL debut with the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, and I'm going to go with the NFC East. I'm going to stick with them. I mean, the Giants, Cowboys, and Eagles, they've all combined for 13-1 this season. Yeah. I mean, 2 years ago, the Washington was 7-9, and they were the division winner for the NFC East. I mean, it's just crazy. They've came such a long way, and they're the only division with 3 teams with 4 or more wins in the league. Oh. It's pretty crazy to think that this is the team. I mean, I don't think anyone predicted this, that they have 3 teams in the playoffs right now.
Exactly.
But man, that is something incredible to see so far in this season, and I hope that it keeps going.
Yeah, they're competitive now.
Yeah, they're somehow competitive. Who knew? Who knew? All right. So who do you have for who's not?
Well, going on that, I mean, I the coach's calls in the Alabama game, when the Alabama-Texas A&M game, why would he throw the football when they're close enough where he could have ran it in? And I mean, that's just you see, he could have just a safer option would have been to run it in, and why the coach chose to do that, I don't know. And the Raiders, why'd they go for the 2-point conversion when it could have been a safer? It was way too close in the fourth quarter for them to be we're going to go for a 2-point conversion when it was a safer option to just have a field goal and be safe, with at least you would get equal, right? You would be
you would get
equal,
tied with
and
them.
you would go into overtime. But by going for the 2-point and there being an extra risk, you're not guaranteed going into overtime and losing the game like they did by 1 point.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's,
They had about 4:27 left in the game.
Yeah.
They had plenty of time to get a stop and come back down the field and maybe even win the game in regulation.
It's just, coaches sometimes.
Well, I'm going to stick with coaching, actually. I'm going Oklahoma coaching for who's not for this week. My goodness, Brent Venables. That is embarrassing performance right there. 49-0. You cannot get ran over by a rival team. I don't care if you're injured, you've lost your last 2 games. This is a rival game. This is the game of the year. You need to mark this down in the calendar. And you got outscored 49-0. Texas had 35 first downs. They had 585 yards compared to your 195 yards. I mean, there's just no halftime adjustments. The Wildcat was not working at all. And, I mean, I even went to the student section for Oklahoma during halftime, and they're chanting, "We want booty." and General Booty didn't even play. So not only did the fans get disappointed by the loss, but they didn't even get to see their quarterback. So very, very disappointing for them. But let's go ahead and move into our next section. We need to talk about the roughing the passer calls that have happened in the NFL. My goodness, the fine bomb of the week. It's been pretty disappointing.
Yeah,
it's been pretty disappointing.
It's been...
Yeah, look at this play right here. Tom Brady, my goodness, such a disgusting tackle. How could you ever tackle Tom Brady?
Yeah,
that is Grady Jarrett, defensive end for the Atlanta Falcons. And then we have another play right here, Chris Jones on David Carr. And my goodness, he gets the fumble too, and somehow roughing the passer. I don't really get it right here.
I don't get it either. Like, what, it's a common tackle, but okay, but I guess, whatever.
Yeah,
What to call it.
It's almost like, what is the tackle at this point?
Yeah, that's exactly, it's like, okay.
I get that Tom Brady's maybe 45, but he's still an NFL player. He can take the hits, he can take the tackles. I don't know if it was because they wanted to protect him, but it was a very clean tackle, and it's very disappointing to see that for the Falcons and just the NFL fans in general.
Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, if he wants to play, then he should play by other people's rules. Just because he's older doesn't mean they need to, like, you know, make it softer for him, or like baby him
make
because
he's
yeah, exactly. But
he's made his way through the league. He knows how to get tackled.
He knows how to do it. He's been here for 40.
He knows how to tuck the
like
ball.
25 years. Yeah, exactly.
All right. So let's move ahead. What's trending? We have MLB Playoffs starting right now. They are in the division series for both of the conferences.
Yes.
What playoff series has been the most interesting for you so far?
Well, I have to be truthful. I don't really watch baseball that much, but I watch some playoffs here and there. But I really like the Astros and the Seattle Mariners game because the Astros were down 4 points, and they came back and won. So I think that's really cool because it's really hard to come back in any sport, but like baseball, I feel like it's harder. I think. Again, I don't really watch it, but it's pretty hard because like if the pitcher, you know, and everything. So yeah, I think that one was the most intriguing to me because they came back and won it. And they were like, because then they led the series 1-0. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with you. I think the Houston Astros versus Seattle Mariners series is the most entertaining. It's been very fun to watch. Yordan Alvarez has been a huge factor for the Houston Astros. He's gone 2. He got the walk-off home run in Game 1, and then he had the game-winning home run in Game 2. He's been going crazy. He's probably, I mean, I would say he's about MVP level for next year, definitely. But that series has been really exciting. The Astros are up 2-0. They're going back to Seattle on Saturday for a Game 3. And let's go ahead and move on. We have Davante Adams. After the Las Vegas Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs game, got a little frustrated right here after the failed 2-point conversion. At the end, he pushed down an NFL camera person, and now he is under investigation for under the league, under the NFL. Yes. So what do you think would be the best punishment for this?
I don't know. I mean, I think he was just heated, you know, and he didn't control his emotions. But I think maybe, like, at least, maybe if any, 1-game suspension. I really think that he should give some compensation to the cameraman. But the cameraman did press charges, and he, so I just think, I think he just needs to, like, I think it's better if the cameraman just gets some compensation, you know, just to be like, hey, sorry, dude, it was like this, whatever. I heard he apologized to the cameraman, but I mean, I just feel like maybe a little bit sent that way. But I think that just like 1 game, maybe. I don't think it should be too big because it's not like he did push someone, but like it's I just think 1 game because I don't think it's like a slap on the wrist, really, like that. Not like 6 games because you know.
Oh yeah, 6. I think 6 games would be
like
a little
unreasonable.
too much.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that's
definitely a fine at the lowest right there. He works for the NFL. It's just a really bad look for Davante Adams. I heard someone say if you can't push down a ref, you shouldn't push down an NFL camera person. I think that's perfectly reasonable. And I think a suspension, 1-game suspension, is probably the most fairest. I think Davante Adams should have handled himself a little better there. But, you know, you live and learn with your decisions. So, anyways, that is all for the first block. When we come back, we will be joined by Adam Ogburn, and we will do our versus section.
Okay.
Doing better.
Yeah.
I'm going to get there.
Mic check if you want to hear. Make sure. Yeah, tell her to just make sure the volume levels come up on it. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. She have me. No. Maybe. Hopefully. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. I think my mic is on. I'm pretty sure it's on the One of those Sports Show on this Friday morning. You have me yet? Okay, let's go. Baby. It might just be the mic then. Like the mic 3. You want me to try mic 4? That's good. Good enough. All right. Don't know.
Welcome back to the 1-0 Sports Show, ladies and gentlemen. We have Adam Ogburn here on to judge for us on our Versus game show right here. Thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, good to be on, TJ. It's a little bit different being in the middle soon, so I'm looking forward to seeing some of the highlights of the week that y'all brought.
Absolutely. So we are going to show some of our best highlights from certain parts of this weekend. So the first part will be the best play from the Red River domination. So Kylie, what is your best play from the Red River game?
My best play is when Quinn Ears touchdown pass to Xavier Worthy. It was in the first quarter, and he jumps and he grabs the ball, and the touchdown. Okay,
here we go.
I was like, wait. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. No, but you see, like the way he jumps up and grabs it, because it was a little overthrown, but like the way he was able to like jump up and grab it real quick and like pull it in and make a touchdown, pretty good. Pretty good.
Definitely a dime there from the Texas quarterback. Put that one on a line.
Yes.
Worthy.
Definitely, definitely. So I'm going to go with something that's less of a highlight and more of a very big turning point in the game. I'm going with the Texas fourth down stop in the first quarter. It was 4th and 1. It was about on the Texas 15-yard line. Texas was only up 7-0 at this point. Man, if you don't get this stop, who knows what this game could have been. But we did get it, so now it's 49-0. I think this was a huge turning point, huge momentum changer for the game, and I think it just kind of killed Oklahoma for the rest of the game.
Man, I'm going to go, definitely a great pass from Quinn Ewers. It's great to have him back. I'm going to go with TJ on this one. I think when you look at this Texas team, especially back that Texas Tech game where the Red Raiders converted 6 of 8 fourth downs, that fourth down stop is huge, and 49-0 just looks a whole lot better than 49-3 or 49-7 or however many maybe Oklahoma would have gone to score. So I think for a defense that struggled to get off the field at times, that fourth down stop was a huge turning point in that Red River game in the first quarter. So TJ, I'm going to go with the defense. May not be the sexiest play ever, but definitely had a big impact on that game.
Yep. Sometimes you don't need to be sexy to win.
There you go.
So the next highlight we got the best MLB playoffs so far, we have said, but all teams have played at least 2 games in the playoffs so far. Kylie, what is your best play from the playoffs?
Mine is from the Mariners and Astros game, and the Astros were down 4-0, but by getting this double play, it helped them turn the momentum around. Like they get double out. It was nice. It was it was very calculated and very like strategic and very like it was fast. The way he caught, just threw it, and it was very fast paced and it was like accurate. It was nice. It was a nice MLB play.
Yeah, Jeremy Pena fill in there, Carlos Correa. So hey, business is good. Shortstop in Houston.
Hey. Carlos Correa back on the market, accordingly.
He got sick of the Minnesota weather, man. Just took 9 months. He's like, I'm not doing this anymore.
That's all it took for him. So I'm going to stick with the Astros-Mariners. Man, you would think the Astros and Mariners are the only playoff series going on if you just watch this show. I'm going with Yordan Alvarez. He had a walk-off in Game 1. Man, what a shot. I mean, this guy just has unlimited power. I mean, this is second decker to win the game. I mean, it's just incredible. What a show that he's been putting on this playoff so far.
Dude's a machine, man. He cranks that ball. And look at that bat flip. I mean, that's a heck of a bat flip. I think when you walk off, when you're down by 2 runs, you have a 3-run homer, 2 out to the 9th, I think you've earned your bat flip.
I mean, he just makes it look so effortlessly.
Man, TJ, I got to go with you again because it looked like the Astros were dead and buried in this game. And for Yordan Alvarez to come up, I think when he came to bat, I saw they had a 9% chance of winning. So I think I saw that was the biggest win percentage flip, as long as they've been counting it on a single swing of the bat in MLB history or something like that, or MLB playoff history. So we'll go Yordan Alvarez, man. That man, he just makes play after play after play, such a threat in their batter's box. Hit another home run yesterday. He's going to be a threat. So to win a game like that, I give Yordan Alvarez the lead in the best MLB playoff play so far.
Yeah, that's what makes baseball so great. You can just change the game with one swing of a bat. It's just a game changer right there, and a walk-off, and the Astros win because of it. All right, so the next highlight, we got the worst blooper of the week. Kylie, what is your choice?
I had in the Kansas State versus Iowa game, Kansas State, Malik Knowles, he gets a great pass, like it's a great deep ball from Adrian Martinez, and so he doesn't get the tackle, and so he thinks he got it, and then Iowa State pops it out, and they get it. Instead of it being should be a touchdown, it's a turnover, and Iowa State gets the ball.
Wow.
So that's crazy. Like it should have been if he thought he beat them all, and like the other dude just comes around and swipes up and pops it out of he pops the ball out, and Iowa State covers it. So
All that work for nothing. Man.
yep.
Very interesting. Something you don't see every day in football, that's for sure. So I'm going to go with the entire Indianapolis Colts and Denver Broncos game last Thursday night. My goodness, was that game just, it was torture to watch. Not even a touchdown the entire game. Russell Wilson is not cooking, that is for sure. The defense, that is quality defense, but I mean, no touchdowns. You go into overtime 9-9. I mean, you have Broncos fans literally leaving. They do not want to watch overtime. That's how bad this game was. I felt like if I was there, I would have left. I'm not going to lie. And I mean, and then you have the wide receiver on the Broncos at the end of the game who was just smashing his helmet. Disappointed. He had an open slant for a touchdown to win the game. Very disappointing, but it's just, it was just the worst game to watch. I could not stand it.
You know, it's one thing we haven't talked about on this show, right? The Bears and the Commanders game from last night. We're going to finish Thursday Night Football from the one of those sports shows. It's been so bad the last 2 weeks. That was a terrible game. Praise God I was at work, so I did not have to suffer through that one. But, man, I'm going to go with Kylie on this one, man. Malik Knowles, he did all the hard work. It's going to be a 70-yard touchdown, broke 2 tackles. It's like, dude, just run. He let an Iowa State guy run him down from 10 to 15 yards behind him, gets the ball punch free. I mean, that was a 10-9 game. That was almost so close to maybe costing Kansas State a big win. So you just can't do that. It's one thing if the guy's neck and neck with you, but he let an Iowa State. He was kind of prancing in the end zone, lets the guy come down from behind, forces a key turnover. So it's the worst when receivers do that or they drop the ball celebrating before they get to the end zone. So definitely a massive blooper right there. So got to go with Kylie on that one.
All righty, and then the next one, the best college football play of the week from Week 6. Kylie, what is your choice?
I chose the CJ in the Ohio State's first going for their score in the Michigan State game. I chose CJ Stroud's pass to Marvin Harrison. And the way he jumps up and catches it, but he also has this other dude like all over him. And so when he catches it, he has his arm like with him. So it's like it's a good, like a really good catch to like have that dude all over him and just to like secure it and get the touchdown. I think that's really like I don't know how he would get. It's just
learning from his father, man. Father, long time receiver with the Colts.
And I'm going to go with Evan Stewart's catch versus Alabama. High school friend and a true freshman playing against Alabama. Over 2 defenders. This catch is just insane.
I think I made the wrong content, so my apologies. More Marvin Harrison, though, for y'all to enjoy.
Marvin Harrison. I'll just switch it up. But I'll go with Evan Stewart's catch. I assume you know what I'm talking about. It was an amazing catch over 2 Alabama defenders in Tuscaloosa. And it really set up the Aggies for that last drive. Of course, they ended up with a pretty big blooper at the end of the game. But they did have a chance, and it's all because of Evan Stewart and for that catch. And he also had a couple more catches on that drive that just really helped the offense there. So who are you going to go with?
Yeah, well, due to personal reasons, I can't go with Evan Stewart. A&M, man, that last play was tough. But credit to them, I'm impressed they hung with Alabama so long. So maybe they'll turn the corner. I'm interested to see if there's been rumors that Connor Wagner might get the start when they come back from the bye week if Haynes King is banged up. But I'm going to go with Marvin Harrison. First, Kylie, you bring that highlight. And then later in the game, he does that, too. Marvin Harrison was balling out against Michigan State. He's going to be a threat. It's not fair, man, because they got Jackson Smith and Jigba, too. I mean, this Ohio State team is unbelievable. I go nice back shoulder catch by Marvin Harrison. And the awareness to get a foot in bounds. He's right by the pylon there. So give me the Buckeyes, and let's tie it up 2 apiece. So it's going to come down to the best NFL play. Let's do it.
Yep. All right, this one's for all the marbles right here. The best NFL Week 5 play. Kylie, who is your pick?
I had the Buffalo Bills versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was near the end of the fourth quarter. Second quarter, sorry. And Josh Allen throws a nice deep ball. And Gabe Davis, catches it one-handed and is able to bring it in. But Fitzpatrick on the Steelers is, also has a hand on it, too. But he wrestles him, and Gabe Davis is able to come away with a touchdown.
Ty goes to receiver, but I swear you never see a tie ball like that. I mean, they were going for a second or two.
They were, equal.
Yeah, definitely.
That was impressive.
I love that play. My fantasy team loved that play, too, Josh Allen. I'm going with Darnell Mooney for my pick, his catch against the I believe they played the Vikings, yes.
NFC North back.
The NFC North matchup against the Vikings and the Bears. Darnell Mooney with a beautiful catch from Justin Fields. It was just not really good placed, but he was able to get it, and it was very impressive, not going to lie.
Man, these are great, both great one-handed catches. I think I'm just going to give the edge, though. It's a tight one. I'm just going to give the edge to Darnell Mooney just because of the way he's up in the air, kind of extending back for it. Gabe Davis, obviously a heck of a touchdown catch, but, man, just something about Mooney off balance in the air, and he's somehow able to come down to that one. I know that's Tommy Yars. He doesn't get many Bears highlights to watch. He's sitting behind you in the studio, but I'm sure he enjoyed that one. So give me Darnell Mooney, and TJ, congrats, man. That was we didn't see much of that last night. But,
no.
Great catch. Now, we won't talk about Darnell Mooney's dropping the goal line, but
that kind of negates
last week.
There's not a lot of Bears highlights, so whenever we have them, we got to use them. They're very, very rare, but very exciting. Well, Adam, thank you very much for joining us right here on the show.
Fun. Good stuff, y'all.
And when we come back, we will be doing our buy and sell. And
stay tuned.
There we go. Telling you the transitions. Welcome back to the 1-0 Sports Show. We have another fun little segment coming up for you guys. It's called Buy or Sell. The rules are pretty simple here. All you have to do, we give a statement about something going on in the sports world, and we say we want to buy that statement or sell that statement. Are you ready, Kylie?
Yes.
Alrighty, so the first question is, will Texas finish as a top 10 team this year? Buy or sell, Kylie?
I would buy because they just have a lot of offensive power, you know, with Quinn Ewers and Bijan Robinson, even wide receivers like Xavier Worthy and tight end Javon Sanders. The Texas football defense also has been holding their own, you know, against Oklahoma and against even Alabama. They were pretty, and so I think they have all the, like, ingredients or whatever you want to call it to be a top 10, to finish in the top 10. They just need to do it. They need to win they need to win games like Iowa State, or even try to win games like TCU or OK State to show that they can compete in the Big 12 and finish a top 10 team.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to go buy as well, most definitely. I think they can finish the year as a top 10 team. I'm pretty confident. Mostly confidence ruins it. It comes down pretty hard, crashes pretty hard. But I'm pretty confident this year, and I got 2 words for you. Quinn Ewers. My goodness, he's a huge upgrade. No offense to Hudson Card, but I do really like Quinn Ewers. He really opens up the playbook for Sark, and it allows just so much offense to be created. It also allows more space for Bijan, Roshan, Keelan. All of them, they get so much more space, and it just allows this offense to be so dangerous. One of the best in the league, or one of the best in the nation, I believe, once it gets to full fruition. So I think it's going to be a tough schedule that they still have to play, but I think they can do it.
Yeah, I think they can too. It is going to be tough. They just need to win at least like the games that they're supposed to win, and we'll be good. They will finish in top 10.
And then they got to beat those teams. Number 8, Oklahoma State, number 13, TCU.
Both would be amazing.
All coming up.
I'll take one.
Yeah, definitely. Just one would be good. All right, so the next statement. So according to sportsbooks, Ohio State is the most likely to win the national championship so far after week 6. Kylie, what do you say about this?
I'm buying it because they're like dominant over whoever they've played. And I know they haven't played like great teams, but like they still have offensive power. And they haven't played great teams, but they still have the offensive and defensive power that they've shown. And they don't really have any competition. If you think about Alabama had 2 tight almost losses to like Texas and Texas A&M. And so I don't know, like, if they even go to the championship, they might lose because they're playing, like, Ohio State is better than A&M and Texas. Sorry. But yeah, so they might, and the only one I think, but Georgia even struggled against some of the SEC teams. But they came back and won it, but that's what I think. I think Ohio State will take it just because of the offensive power they have and how dominant they've been with, like their games and everyone.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you again. We're on the same page so far. I'm going to have to say bye as well. C.J. Stroud, Heisman candidate, he's been doing amazing. I would even say that he's the top Heisman candidate since Bryce Young's been injured for a little bit now. They just have a very explosive offense. They can score at any time, any point. You always got to be on your toes if you are the defense against the Buckeyes. And also, like what you were saying, they have an easy schedule.
They do.
They're playing.
Everything is set up.
Everything's set up perfectly. They play. The only 2 competitors that they'll play are Penn State, who's ranked 10th, and Michigan, who's ranked 5th. And that game against Michigan, last game of the year, will be very interesting. That will be the make or break.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
If they make the playoffs.
But I'm going to go by with that. So we go to the next one already. So will the 49ers win the NFC West, buy or sell, Kylie?
I'm actually going to sell on this one just because, like, this last game, they were very dominant. You know, they won 37-15 over Carolina. But they lost a lot of stars. Like, they lost Emmanuel Mosley, he had a year-ending ACL tear, and Nick Bosa, and their kicker, Robbie Gould. So I think there's just too many, like, questions in areas, and some of the offensive linemen aren't going to be in Sunday's game. So there's just too many questions for me to be like, yeah, they're going to do it. Because they're not that far of a deficit, like, with other teams in their conference. Like, it's like they're 3-2, and the other teams are 2-3. So all it takes is for San Francisco to lose one and the other team to win one. So it's like, I can't, like, definitely buy it because, you know, the NFL's crazy. Anything can happen on any given Sunday. So
Definitely. I've heard that many times, and it has happened many times. So I'm gonna keep agreeing with you. I think sell for the 49ers. They are a great team. They're a division-winning team when they're healthy. The problem is they are never healthy. So I mean, they're having another year of injury problems. I think it's just it can slow them down a little bit. I think the Rams will eventually pick up their pace. The Rams, they won the Super Bowl. They can show that they can do it. They added Allen Robinson. They added Bobby Wagner to replace Von Miller. They're still in a very good place to win the NFC. I think they can. I think they can.
Yeah.
Also, the 49ers offense is Deebo Samuel and only Deebo Samuel. It has been very hard to produce offense anywhere else. And that's just hard. It's hard to go 18 weeks with one man as your offense. It's a little tough.
You're going to lose points.
You're going to lose some games, definitely.
You need more than just one.
Alrighty, so the next question, we have Patrick Mahomes. Will Patrick Mahomes lead the Chiefs to victory this weekend against the Buffalo Bills, despite being a home underdog for the first time in his entire career? Buy or sell, Kylie?
This is the one I'm going to disagree with you on.
Okay.
Okay. I think, I'm selling just because the Bills have they have very powerful offense and they have a really good defense. They're really good. And I know the AFC divisional game last year was like that, and they went to overtime and Mahomes won. But I think they've learned from that and they've improved. And I just think because Josh Allen worked on his completion rate and everything, so I think they can do it because they have a good defense, and I don't think they'll be making very mistakes and turnovers.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to disagree though. First time
First time everything.
So I'm gonna have to say that the Chiefs win this game, and why? I think it's because these two teams get a lot of turnovers through the defensive side, and there's one team who turns the ball less than the other team, and that's the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, he only has thrown 2 interceptions to 15 touchdowns, while Josh Allen has thrown 14 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. So I think when it's a game of turnovers, like it possibly could be, I think the Chiefs outlast the Bills, and I think that their offense just beats the Bills' defense. Good offense always beats good defense in the end. That is the rule, unfortunately. I kind of want the Bills to win. I feel bad for them. They've came in the Arrowhead Stadium 2 years in a row and have lost, and coin flips, whatever. You could blame it on almost anything, but I do think the Chiefs come out with the win here. Alrighty. So then we go to our next part. We have the power rankings for the NFL, the top 4 teams so far through Week 6. Kylie, who do you have?
At first, I put the Buffalo Bills just because they've had dominating games since the loss to the Dolphins, and they all around working great with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, and they have a lot of offensive power on that side, and their defense is ranked number 2 in the NFL. And the offensive line has given Allen enough time to choose where he wants to throw it, and that's why they deserve that. That's why I think they're number 1, just because they've shown that they're good. And at number 2, I put the Eagles because they were in a tight battle with the Cardinals, but they came out on top because of the field goal. And I think they have offensive power and special teams talent they showed because of the kicker. And this win still made them, they're the only NFL team that's undefeated, and that's why I put them at number 2. And then on 3rd, I put Kansas City just because they dug themselves out of a 17-0 hole, and because of the offense and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, they were really creating for them to get out of that hole. And they showed that the offense can come up big for them when the defense, doesn't really help them that much. And so I think, And then at 4th, I put San Francisco. This was after, I found out the injuries. But I just put them because they show that they're dominating. They won on the road, and they're still lead in the conference. So I think they can, be. I mean, I just think they've showed that without their other quarterback, what's his name?
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance, sorry. Trey Lance, that they can still win, and Jimmy Garoppolo is still, creating wins for them, and so
Yeah, definitely. Jimmy Garoppolo's been pretty
Yeah,
solid
he's
for
been
them,
pretty
other than his little safety whenever he ran in the back of the end zone.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
pretty embarrassing on his part. But I'm going to go with the Bills as my number one team as well. I think they are the team to beat. I think the Chiefs beat them this weekend. Anything can happen in football.
Yeah,
but I do think they are the team to beat. Josh Allen is playing like the MVP this year. He's been playing great. The defense is playing great. They force so many turnovers, number one team in the league in forced turnovers. And the main stat, they've only allowed 3 touchdowns all year. It's just mind-blowing that has happened.
Yeah, that is. That's crazy.
And they're just the most all-around team so far this year. They have the defense, they have the offense, they have the special teams. I mean, they're definitely the team to beat. And then I got for my number 2 is the Kansas City Chiefs. They are right behind them, right on the Bills' tail. They can still win games. They're still showing that they are the Kansas City Chiefs, even without Tyreek Hill. And you got Travis Kelce scoring 4 touchdowns in last game, which is incredible. You got the wide receivers who are still playing good, taking advantage of the absence of Tyreek Hill. And, I mean, they're beating good teams. The Raiders, the record might not show it, but the Raiders are a very competitive team. And it was a very good comeback for them. They showed that they're still a very good offensive team. I mean, so then the third team that I have here is the Philadelphia Eagles. I put them on number 3 because they, even though they're the only undefeated team, they've not played the hardest schedule. Their schedule's been fairly easy, but you got to take advantage of the bad teams, and that's what they've done. So, point to the Eagles, definitely. And the Cowboys game right here this weekend, Sunday Night Football, I think will be the very first test for the Eagles this year to see if they are the beast of the NFC East.
That's good.
And that brings me to the Cowboys, number 4. Cooper Rush is undefeated. He's 5-0. And, they're the only 4-1 team with a 4-game win streak going on. You have 5 4-1 teams. They are the hottest of them all. Their defense is playing Super Bowl caliber defense. I mean, they are always on the quarterback. Their pass rush is just crazy. So very excited about the rest of the NFL season. Definitely, it's got a good ending. I can feel the script being good. All right, well, that's all it for this segment. When we come back, we will have a special interview with Iowa State sports editor. His name is Andrew Harrington. You won't want to miss it. Hello and welcome back to the 1-0 Sports Show. We have a very special guest all the way from Amos, Iowa. He is the Iowa State Daily Sports Editor, Andrew Harrington. Andrew, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course, of course. So I got the first question for you as Iowa State is playing Texas at 11 a.m. on Saturday. We have Iowa State, they're 0-3 in the Big 12 with 3 losses by 1 possession. So how is the mood around the football team up there?
I mean, there's no other way to put it than just not good. They played the Baylor game to start conference play. That was a little bit different. That game looked closer on the scoreboard than it was with a late score for Iowa State to make it look close. But the Kansas and Kansas State games, right in reach, and honestly, I think they blew both of those games. So I would say it's just not a great mood overall.
Yeah, I get.
Has this season been underwhelming, or did the Cyclones fans approach it with the mindset of it was going to be a bit of a down year after Breece Hall and Brock Purdy left? Yeah.
That's a really interesting one because, I mean, it's not just Breece and Brock. They lost a lot of people on the defense, a lot of players that have been there for a long time. Going into the season, a lot of people expected it to be really a rebuilding year, like you said. But then they beat Iowa, and then all of a sudden the expectations kind of magically increased, and people started to think that the Cyclones were really going to have a big year. But I'd say going into the year, people wouldn't have been underwhelming, but after they beat Iowa for the first time in years, it kind of became underwhelming.
Gotcha. So there's been a lot of rumors surrounding Matt Campbell's future. Do you think he's still the head coach of Iowa State next year, or do you think he moves on to another program after this year?
I would be honestly shocked if he leaves after this season. He really has built something with Iowa State, and his stock is obviously kind of at its lowest right now after having a down year. And I don't think, I mean, he's had chances to go to big programs and go to the NFL in the past. And this year, it's kind of, the options aren't quite there like they have been in the past years, I feel. So I would say, I think that after this season, he's still head coach of Iowa State.
The offense has scored just 20 points the last 2 games combined. In your opinion, what has been the cause for this production?
I think there's 3 main factors there. The offensive line hasn't really given much time for either the run game or the pass game to develop. And then a young quarterback, Hunter Deckers, really has looked kind of off, been a bit inaccurate. And then lastly, offensive coordinator Tom Manning, he's been getting a lot of hate because kind of the offense has lost a bit of its creativity, just a lot of shallow crossers, nothing developing downfield for the team.
All right, and then who is a player on each side of the ball for the Cyclones that you could see having a big game on Saturday?
Receiver Xavier Hutchinson. He's kind of been the one guy that, despite the offensive struggles, he hasn't struggled whatsoever. He's been kind of just dominating game in and game out, putting up 100 yards, no problem. And on the defense, I would say Orion Bance. He's a linebacker. He makes plays in the pass game and in the run game. He's extremely talented.
What's a key to victory for Iowa State, and what's a key to victory for Texas?
Key to victory for Iowa State, I would say, is getting creative on offense. The offensive line has got to hold up so that Iowa State can kind of do their thing and finally let Deckers be free a little bit. And because he's talented at throwing the ball downfield, that's what he could do best, but he needs a bit more time. For Texas, I would say attack the secondary. Secondary for Iowa State has been really good in the run game, but Baylor especially showed that they can be beat deep downfield. And with Quinn Ewers returning, it could be dangerous for the secondary this time around.
Yeah, definitely. And with everything that you've said, Andrew, what is your prediction for the game this Saturday at 11 a.m.?
I think that Texas will come away with it. I think by a score of 31-23. I think it'll be kind of similar to the Baylor game, where on paper it looked like a one-possession game, but it won't be as close as fans see it.
Yeah, I could see. I think you bring up a good point. I think Iowa State. I think they just need to. I think if I think if Texas just attacks the secondary, I think this game could be over pretty quickly. Well, Andrew, thank you very much for joining us here on the 1-0 Sports Show. When we come back, we will have Samantha Perl joining us for her on-camera debut. Very excited. We'll be predicting the college football games picks for this weekend. You won't want to miss it. Alrighty, and we are back with the 1-0 Sports Show. We have a very, very special guest here on for her to make her first camera debut. Samantha Perl, the sports director of TSTV Sports. Welcome on the show. Are you excited?
I'm excited. I'm a bit nervous, but I'm looking forward to it. I've been on Crossfire and Press Box 2 years ago when I was a freshman. So, you know, it's been a while, you know, on air, but I think I'm ready.
Yeah, let's go. Alrighty. So the rules of the game is that we say the top 10 games of the week for college football, and all we say is who's going to win the game. So we're going to go with the first part of the pick'ems, which is the underdog of the week. We get the pick and upset you think will happen. Kylie, what is your pick?
I thought BYU will against Arkansas because they're playing home field, and you know home field advantage for BYU is very hostile to play there. And most teams who travel up there don't really make it out winning. And Arkansas needs a break because, you know, they lost against Texas A&M, and then they lost against Mississippi State. So, and they're not going to get a break looking for this going to this game. So I think BYU has the advantage. So yeah.
All right, going with Arkansas to lose 4 straight, I believe. Man. All right, I'm going to go with Georgia Southern over the number 25 ranked James Madison. I have some family that goes to Georgia Southern, so I might be a little biased here. Georgia Southern, they've lost their last 2 games very closely. It's been a trench fight for both of those games, but they do have the home field advantage. James Madison, they might not, you know, with the recent fame that they have being ranked, they might draw larger crowds against them on the road, and it might startle them a little bit. I think Georgia Southern has a chance for sure. Samantha, who do you say?
I'm going to go with LSU at Florida. You know, I think LSU could pull it up. Florida has been a little bit of a rut lately, but if the Tigers really tried, I think they could pull it off. But both have a 4-2 record, so I feel like, you know, it could go either way. But I thought, like, ultimately the biggest underdog of the week was Alabama at Tennessee, but we're discussing that in our pick'ems. So, yeah, LSU and Florida.
All righty, LSU winning in Gainesville. That will be an exciting game, to be honest. Any SEC game is pretty exciting, I'm not going to lie. All right, so the first matchup of these pick'ems. All right, so number 1, we have number 19 ranked Kansas at Oklahoma at 11 a.m. on Saturday on ESPN2. Kylie, who do you have?
I'm going to go with Kansas, just because I know Oklahoma's at home and everything, but they can take advantage of a struggling defense. And Kansas's backup, Jason Bean, kept up with TCU. They were still in the game when, you know, their other quarterback went out. So yeah, I think they can keep up with them, and I think they can beat them at home because Oklahoma right now is like an injured dog, and they don't really, you know, they don't know if this could be the game they get their pride back, but I don't think so because Jason Beam almost won, and so I think they can create scores with him, and I think they just need to establish the run early against Oklahoma and get that defense rattled, and yeah, I think I call Kansas.
Call Kansas. I'm going to call OU. I think it's an upset at this point. It's kind of sad. Oklahoma, they need to win a Big 12 game eventually, I think. What you were saying, Kansas with the backup QB, I think it's just a little too rushed. I think you put a good point out. But I think OU just has nowhere to go but up. I think they have no pressure at this game. They will go out and play all out. And I think Kansas, on the other hand, they're ranked for the first time in a while. They might be a little scared. You know, they haven't been here before. They haven't been 19 before. So it might be a little, there could be a little disappointment to that because they just might be a little nervous. But anyways, let's go. Oh, I'm sorry. Samantha, who's your pick?
I'm going to have to agree with Kylie. I'm going to go with Kansas.
All right.
We saw Texas's and Oklahoma's performance last week. Oklahoma just, you know, 49-0 with Texas and Oklahoma. So that just wasn't a good situation for them, and they kept on playing that wildcat formation. But yeah, I'm going to have to go with Kansas just because of that. And then they're 5-1 compared to Oklahoma, who's 3-3. So yeah, I'm going to go with Kansas.
All righty, so majority picks Kansas for the first game. The second game, we have Minnesota at 24 ranked Illinois at 11 a.m. on Big Ten Network. Kylie, who do you have?
I'm going to go with the upset. I think Minnesota will win just because they played better defense, and the veteran quarterback Tanner Morgan will create offense, and they didn't have star running back Mohamed Ibrahim last game, but he's back and he'll create some juice in that run-in game. And so, so I think they're going to pull up the upset.
All right, Kylie's going with the Gophers. I'm going to go with Illinois. I think Chase Brown, the running back for Illinois, man, he has been really good this season. I mean, really good. Every game he's had over 100 yards. I'm super, super impressive. I think even though Minnesota has a tough rush defense, I think Chase Brown gets it done. I think if you just pound it in there in the middle, he's going to get through. And also, they're the home team. I think the home team always gets favored. I'm not going to lie. All righty, Samantha, who do you have?
I'm going to go with the upset as well, just because Minnesota is only 4th in their rankings with the Big Ten West compared to Illinois being 1st. And I don't know, I just think that Minnesota can take down the Fighting Illini. So,
hey, yeah.
Got
going, going with luck. Sometimes you need luck to win the game.
I mean,
definitely.
It could turn out well.
Yeah, of course, of course. All right, so the next game we have number 10 Penn State at number 5 Michigan. That'll be at 11 a.m. on Fox. Samantha, who do you have? We'll go with you first.
I'm going to go with Michigan, just because the Wolverines are 6-0 compared to the Lions who are 5-0, and I just think that since they're both in the Big Ten East, Michigan is ranked 1st compared to Penn State, who's 3rd. So I don't know. I think that Michigan pulled it off. We'll see. But yeah, Michigan.
Yeah, I think both. I think it's a close game. I think this is a very exciting game, very big Big Ten game right here. But I think Michigan does pull it out as well. I think both teams, they haven't played a really good opponent yet. Well, actually, they haven't played really a good opponent at all yet. And I just think Michigan's a more prepared team. They have the more all-around team, definitely. Their defense has been great. Their offense has been very explosive. I think Michigan gets the deal done here. Kylie, who do you have?
I also am going to go with Michigan. I think they just have, like, Penn State doesn't have the same offensive power that Michigan does. And they're at home, which is another, and Michigan's game management has been really good. And they're really good on first downs and they have offensive power like Blake Corum, and he topped 120 yards in 3 straight Big Ten games. That's a lot. And and also a fun fact, Penn State has never beaten a top 5 team on the road since 1994. So yeah, I go with the Wolverines.
Clean sweep for Michigan right here. So number 4, we have number 3 Alabama at number 6 Tennessee, 2:30 at CBS. Kylie, who do you have there?
I have Tennessee winning the upset, just because they have home field advantage. And remember when Texas was in DKR, they almost lost, and they were able.
Right.
Texas was able to rattle them and get them false starts and everything. And so I think if Tennessee can capitalize on being at home and when Alabama is off, they can win this game. It's going to be close, but I think Tennessee can pull it through.
Yep, man, and what I would do to forget about the game at DKR on week 2. But I'm going to go with Bama here. I think they've been sneaking by for wins, but I'm going with Bama only under one condition: if Bryce Young plays. If Bryce Young does not play, I think you might see Tennessee get past Bama on the rankings, which is very surprising. So, Samantha, who are you going with?
I'm going to go with Tennessee as well. Just because I wanted to mention, like what Kylie said, with Bama coming to Texas, that second week, this might be a bold statement to make, but maybe the Crimson Tide could be weakening. You don't know. So, just because we saw that game, and then I haven't watched any of their games since then, but, that was just a crazy performance and how Texas almost overpowered them. So I think, Tennessee could pull this out this weekend, but it'll be an exciting game to watch. And like I mentioned before, this was the one that I was calling the underdog of the week. So, it could work out for Tennessee.
Yeah, it definitely can. It's a great SEC matchup. We're going to go to the ACC, though, right here for the next game. Number 15, NC State, the Wolfpack, at number 18, Syracuse. That'll be at 2:30 on the ACC network. Who do you have, Samantha?
Well. I'm going to go with Syracuse there. They did reject me from their university, but I'm going to go with them anyways.
Okay.
just because, sometimes I like going with the upset. And you know, they've won all their games compared to the Wolfpacks, who only lost one. So I don't know. I just think they could pull it off. I have no hard feelings against Syracuse for rejecting me from their university. That's not what I'm trying to say here. But you know, I think Syracuse could do it. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you, Samantha. I think Syracuse wins this game. I'm not the biggest fan of NC State. They've just been getting by games every week, and so and also they have the possibility of not playing with Devin Leary, their starting quarterback, and he is amazing. He's very skilled, and without him, the NC State they're unranked, to be honest. I'm going Syracuse here. Kylie?
I'm also as well going Syracuse. I just think that their offense does their job, and Garrett Schroeder leads the ACC in completion rate by being 71%, and it makes up for them not having a great defense. But they're behind. NC State is behind AC for the offense, but they're still behind in the ACC rankings. NC State is behind Syracuse, so I'm going with the orange.
Mm-hmm. All righty, so we all got a clean sweep for Syracuse there too. All right, so we're going to move to the Big 12. We have Oklahoma State ranked number 8 at number 13 TCU. That'll be at 2:30 on ABC. Kylie, who do you have here?
I have Oklahoma State just because they have the best pass rush in the Big 12, and they're generating more tackles for loss and the run defense isn't allowing anything. Also, they don't get penalized. They don't get penalized or turn over the ball, which helps tremendously, and that's why the Cowboys will win.
Yeah, I'm going with the Cowboys too. They're going to win. Spencer Sanders has been incredible so far this season. Both offenses have been great, but I don't think TCU's catching up with Oklahoma State in the offense this game. What about you, Samantha?
I'm also going to go with OK State. You know, give me the Cowboys, not the Dallas Cowboys, the Oklahoma State Cowboys. You know, just because they're ranked second in the Big 12 and the Horned Frogs are third. So, I don't know. I feel like they could pull it off, but we'll see how that goes this weekend.
All righty, and then the next game we got number 4 Clemson at Florida State. That'll be at 6:30 on ABC. Kylie,
I'm going with Clemson just because their offense is now starting to groove together, and I think they can be more consistent than Florida State. Florida State might come out in the first quarter, but I think Clemson will wear them down with consistency. So I'm going with the Clemson.
You know, I'm actually going to go with the Seminoles. I'm going with the Seminoles. I think it's going to be a trench fight, and if FSU wants it more, they're going to get it. I think they're a good team. They've missed on some opportunities recently, but I think I got some luck going for the Seminoles this weekend. How about you, Samantha?
I'm going to go with Clemson just because fellow, I guess, chap of Westlake High School. I went there, so I got to root for Cade Klubnik. But even though he's not in, it's DJ Weongalelu. So I just think, you know, he probably won't get in, but, you know, if DJ's in, he's been doing pretty well this year. And, you know, Clemson's ranked 4th in the AP poll. Sorry.
Yeah,
but yeah, I just think, you know, they could pull it off, but we'll see how that goes.
All right. The next game we got number 60 Mississippi State at number 22 Kentucky. We got an SEC matchup at 6:30 on the SEC Network. Kylie, who do you have for that game?
I'm going with Mississippi State just because they feel more confident. I think they feel more confident in the system they run, and sometimes Kentucky doesn't click on defense, and the Bulldogs can capitalize on this and win the game.
Yeah, I think the Bulldogs have a great offense. Kentucky's going to be very desperate. They went from number 7 to number 22 in the matter of 2 weeks. They're going to be desperate. They're going to be the home team. They're going to want to win this game. I think they have a bounce-back game. I think the SEC's pretty even this year with the middle teams right there, Kentucky and Mississippi State, and I think Kentucky wins this battle.
I'm going to go with Mississippi State. Just because, you know, the Bulldogs have more wins and losses, 5-1 compared to the Wildcats who have 4-2. But although both schools are ranked in the AP poll, I'm just going to go with Mississippi State.
All righty. Mississippi State wins that round. We got the number 9 game. We have number 7 USC at number 20 Utah. This is at 7 o'clock on Fox. Who do you have, Samantha?
I'm going to go with USC. We all know that Caleb Williams transferred from Oklahoma to USC. And, you know, USC is 7th in the AP poll, you know, instead of Utah, who's 20. So I think, you know, they could do it. But, you know, Utah is also ranked number 20 in the AP poll. But, you know, I think I don't know. I think they could do it, but we'll have to see. Caleb Williams is a 5-star transfer. He's been there for a bit, but I don't know. I think the Trojans could do it.
Yeah, UC, really good team, ranked 7th, but Utah's averaging over 40 points a game. UC had a little trouble pulling away from Washington State last week. I'm going with Utah this week. I'm going with the upset. How about you, Kylie?
I'm going to go with the upset as well, just because they have home field advantage. And since joining the Pac-12 in 2011, they've won 42 of the 19 games at home, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And I also think their defense will cover not USC run any, like close to 200 yards. So going with the UTEPs.
All righty, Utah wins. So we got number 10, the last matchup. We have Iowa State at number 22, Texas at the DKR Stadium. That will be at 11 a.m. on ABC. Kylie, who do you have?
I'm going to go with Texas just because they have more offensive talent. They have more talent in general, and they're at home. So I think they can score more points and just get it. I think they can. They get the run, and if they get the points, they can close this game out pretty easy in the first half or whatever.
I think if you're a Texas fan, you should expect to win this game. This should be a game that Texas wins. Quinn Ewers is back. Iowa State, they haven't won a Big 12 game. DKR is going to be cooking. We just came off a really, really good win. So Texas definitely gets this win, I think. How about you, Samantha?
I got to agree with the two of you. I think Texas, I'm not going to say it, but Texas could be back. I know that's bold to say, but I think they could be back. They're in the rankings now, so I'm not going to since Quinn Ewers is back, he had a pretty stellar performance against that game last week with OU and Texas. So I think, Texas could pull it off. They have all those great players like Bijan Robinson, Xavier Worthy, Jatavion Sanders, Marvin Overshown, so many more. So I don't know. I just think the Texas fans could have another dub. So we'll have to see what happens. But
definitely, Texas is looking to go 5-2 on Iowa State this weekend, and that's going to be it for the picks. Samantha, thank you so much for joining us. You did a great job.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So that's it for this morning, but make sure you tune in next week at 10 a.m. and be sure to check our sister shows, College Press Box on Monday nights at 9:30 p.m. and College Crossfire, hosted by Tommy Yarsh on Wednesday nights at 9. I'm your host, DJ Krilowicz. I'm joined by Kylie Rodriguez, and we hope you have a great rest of your weekend.